I have my sales, I have my marketing, I have my legal case flow, I have my onboarding. It's like everything you can possibly wish for in one place, which is amazing. My name is Aleksandra Gontaryuk, and I am the owner of AG Law Firm. Last year, we actually did make it to the Supreme Court, but we didn't end up arguing before the Supreme Court, which was cool. We had a precedential decision before the Third Circuit, which was then overturned. Not, every day where you get to make precedent in any way. So it's one of my largest accomplishments. I generally try to pride myself in helping the community. Aside from my firm, I've always worked closely with local nonprofit organizations to be able to help them, immigration legal needs for their community. And that's really been fulfilling as well. So both of those things go kind of hand in hand with my, largest accomplishment. I was always trying to find ways to be able to leverage technology in order to be able to build up my practice. And being technologically inclined, I was always, okay, let me find this practice system, that practice system, to try to help do as much as possible to make it efficient for the client, to make it efficient for my staff and everything else. And so I had gone through, 3-4 different practice systems, and finally, I was with one for a good while. They were like a startup. They were also fairly tech heavy, a lot of good pieces there to work with, but it came to a point where it wasn't enough. I'm constantly hungry for more optimization and flexibility with my tech stack. And I also always want to keep my tech stack smaller rather than larger, especially nowadays. There's so many apps available, everything, everything that's out there. And now with AI, even more, I came down to, okay, I want to clean up my tech stack and I want it to be as flexible and as integrative as possible. So that's when I started working with Caseflow. I met with Nadine, and Nadine was like, oh yeah, you should try this system. I built it a long time ago. And I was like, great, show it to me. And she did. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So we had a whole bunch of apps that we were using. We didn't really have a good CRM within our case management system. So we had good template building and things like that, and then case management itself. But it wasn't really flexible, and it wasn't really able to work with something, that showed us the business end of the business, right? So you have two portions where normally, as a practice owner, you're not just concerned with, okay, how do we make the cases go quicker? How do we make it more efficient for the staff, more intuitive for the client? But you're also looking at, what are my metrics? How is my staff doing? Do they have any issues? How is my business doing? Do I need to do more marketing? Is my marketing working? Are my leads converting? These are all these questions that come with any kind of practice ownership outside of the actual legal aspect. And so those are the issues that I was coming up against. And a lot of the time I was trying to look for solutions and only finding them with additional applications. And we already had a tech stack 25 long, and it was becoming harder and harder to onboard new staff as we grew. And so those were kind of the pain points that I was experiencing at the time. Well, Nadine had a really good onboarding start for us, which was really nice. She had all these videos set up for us, which I would introduce to new staff and current staff, obviously, as we changed over. And that was really helpful. And it's all nicely set into one board where everybody can go back for reference. And that actually gave me an idea. And I was like, great, we could do all of our onboarding from Monday, because, you're looking from the outside and you're like, well, maybe I use, some other third-party app and another third-party app. And again, trying to avoid just having 20 million apps outside of an ecosystem, right? And so I ended up creating an entire employee hub of Monday to be able to onboard. And I took all of what Nadine did and I just ran with it. And I created my policies, my procedures, my onboarding. You can even track the progress through Monday, which is really cool. So as they check off the onboarding items, you could see the progress bar move and say, okay, this person's 80% onboarded because they finished 80% of, the sub items. And it's been really, really good, really helpful. I really just like the flexibility to customize. There hasn't been anything that I haven't been able to do. And now with the addition of AI and AI being able to do formulas and things like that, it's become even better. I think that the flexibility that it gives you, it's like anything you can think of. When I work with Misha, I'm constantly like, what if we did this? And what if we did that? And I'm thinking of doing this, but like every meeting that we have, we talk about all the things that, are already on the list and then all the things on my wish list. And I always tell my staff, because we have monthly meetings to discuss like, okay, what can we do better? What are the issues that we're having? How can we problem solve together as a team? And I'm constantly telling them, I'm like, sky's the limit, guys. Sky's the limit. Like anything you could think of, I can try to figure it out. Like I'll work with the team and we'll try to work out a way to do it. And so far, I mean, knock on wood, everything that I've been able to think of, everything's been implemented or is in the process of being implemented. So it's really cool. Now we have our CRM, our onboarding, our legal case process. Everything is in one place, and it's really amazing to have that, not to have to look into 20 different places, 20 different apps to be able to do that. And I think that's my biggest win with Caseflow. I have my sales, I have my marketing, I have my legal Caseflow, I have my onboarding. It's like everything you can possibly wish for in one place, which is amazing. It's really good because you use it as a starting point, and you take on Caseflow, and then you can go, okay, I want this. Can I have this? Can I have that? And almost every time Misha's like, I think we can work that out for you.